A 27-year-old should not look like this. The 27-year-old in question is, I believe his name is Andre, like Smave or something of that sort. I've been seeing him on Instagram. I saw him on Instagram a couple of years ago, and I'm not gonna lie, no one should look like this. Bro is too big. You know what I'm saying? A reincarnation of Andre the Giant, bro. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, let's look into his life and, you know, learn maybe what he's taking or how he got that big, because it don't look natural. So let's get into the video and let's do it. And also the video is made by Coach Colton, if you guys wanted to know, you know what I'm saying? But anyway.
Your hands are getting way disproportionately bigger than the rest of your body. The other thing here is he's definitely not playing his cards smart. Again, educational purposes only. I have no idea.
Disclaimer, this video is educational and informative in nature. Do not contact anyone shown in this video. Also, this video is discussing steroids.
Do not use steroids.
This is entirely for educational and entertainment purposes only.
There's this 27-year-old bodybuilder. I don't even know if you want to call him a bodybuilder. A Russian athlete. An insane, crazy physique. 27 years old. That's right. You're looking at him right now, most likely, and thinking, well, he doesn't look like he's 27 years. He doesn't look like he's younger than me. Unk status over here. Now, the internet's...
Nah, I've seen some 27-year-olds, you know. Some people just be aging bad, man. Some people just age not the best. But, you know, 27-year-olds also go bald. You know what I'm saying? So, he doesn't look like a human person. That's what it is. It's not a 27-year-old. He just don't look right.
Actually kind of been going crazy about him because of these thrown out doses that he might be taking of different performance enhancing compounds, specifically growth hormone. Because if you look at Smeyev's hands and appendages, feet included, they're huge. I mean, they are massive. He holds a blender bottle and it looks like a child's sippy cup. What's going on? How does this even happen? The theory is, by some people on the internet, that he takes 120 units of growth hormone a day. That's not a week, that's not a month, that is a day. Now, a standardized replacement dose of growth hormone is somewhere around 2 IUs a day, so 120 is astronomical. Now, if you're not in the deep end of this world, you may not have heard of Andre Smeyev, but you really should. Again, this 27-year-old who does not look 27 has one of the most genuinely shocking physiques I've ever seen, and to weigh well over 300 pounds and that a body composition that doesn't make sense at that weight. I mean, it really is crazy. Now, the thing about him that is unique is obviously his size. He is a very gargantuan human. 2 is his aging that has been generated from likely what is a very high exposure to androgens and other substances. But 3, the proposed substances that everyone is saying that he is on, because nobody actually really has any insight into what he is actually taking. So it's been a lot of postulation based on what other people have taken. Now, he specifically came out with a video talking about this exact claim of 120 units of growth hormone a day and said that it is not true.
Andre Smeyev just addressed his gear protocol. Now, there were rumors going around that Andre was taking 100 IUs of GH a day, which was never true. This was about Sergey, another Russian bodybuilder who experimented with 100 IUs for 1 week, but Andre said that he would never take that much simply from a money standpoint. That stuff just isn't cheap, even if he has sponsorships for that stuff.
I never did that much in my life, not even as an experiment.
But he does run GH.
Okay, I think they're transferring from like a different language, so I don't think that's actually how he sounds, or maybe it's that AI shit where that's literally how he sounds and they're making it in English. But what the fuck? Alright, type shit.
To some degree because he didn't deny taking it, and he also addressed his overgrown body parts like his hands and feet. Andre believes that this mostly comes down to genetics, and this is the reason he doesn't take as much GH, because his hands and feet are already so big.
Now, for all those who say that something has overgrown on me, for example, my hands, my feet, and so on, the effect of this or that drug on your body, it is also individual.
And it does seem like Andre was a bit frustrated.
I know he wanted to say, my hands, my feet, my meat. But steroids makes your meat get small. That's tough. Big ass nigga look at me. Oh, bro, what the fuck are we talking about, bro?
With these rumors being thrown around, but if I were a betting man, I'm gonna say he's still running a large amount of gear.
They record videos, worry about my health and so on. But regarding this, about hormones specifically, nothing like this has ever happened.
Even if it isn't GH.
Now, I don't necessarily doubt that he's not taking 120 units a day, because that is truly an insane dose. But what we do know is one of his friends, who is also a very insane bodybuilder, that friend being Sergey, has already admitted to taking 100 units.
1 week he made experiment. he used 100 hormone
every day
for a week.
Oh, wait, I must have heard that incorrectly. 100 IU every day?
Yeah.
How is he still alive?
experiment.
Bro, Russians are built different, bro. I don't understand. Like, them niggas is built to survive. You know what I'm saying? Shit. Cause I'm sure his heart like the size of this right here. Just bomb. This nigga's probably 22. Damn. That's tough. Larry Wills, this nigga is super gooned out. These niggas are probably both the same, gooned out as fuck. Too much fucking steroids. That should be making you look crazy in the head.
Who knows if they're working together in the cahoots to build the protocols that they're taking, but I would imagine close proximity, same country, the whole nine is likely going to lead to the doses getting combined, right? Like people doing things, talking about it, experimenting with each other. It wouldn't really shock me if he was approaching that 100 unit area. Now, to really conceptualize this dose, okay, for a growth hormone deficient child, right, a child of short stature, the general dosing starts somewhere around, in a lot of data, 0.16 milligrams per kilogram, or roughly 1/2 an IU per kilogram. So if you had a, let's say, 20 kg child, they would be taking roughly somewhere around 16 units in total per week, or somewhere in the ballpark of like 2 to 4 units per day, which is not a lot. That dose does scale quite quickly though, and it increases and sort of titrates per response in a clinical setting. Conversely, you could look at HIV/AIDS patients and see the doses that they're running of growth hormone, which they do as well take, and they do this to prevent basically muscle wasting diseases as well as just general wasting diseases, so like losing bone mineral density and lean mass over time. And that dose comes out to about 4 IUs a day as well. So the doses that bodybuilders take in an average setting, you're really going to see anywhere from like a middle category bodybuilder, like somebody who's pushing the edge but not going crazy, take about 4 units of growth hormone. The higher end of bodybuilding, you're very typically going to see 10 to 12 units of growth hormone. So we are 10x what would be a normal
It's really like people being like, how much am I really willing to kill myself and how fast? You know, like, fuck it, I'm gonna do it big. I'm doing 12 of them hoes, bro. Cause fuck it, why not? I need to get swole as fuck. Kind of like a little mental illness a little bit, huh?
bodybuilders dose, which is already on the higher end, even when compared to clinical settings. Another really good example of an avid drug user was, rest in peace, Rich Piana, who actually had a lot of good stuff to say while he was abusing steroids and various other recreational drugs simultaneously, and that obviously led to his demise. He was a very avid educator in a sense, and as well as someone who really did preach, like, don't take steroids, even though he was doing it. Something we don't see that often these days. Usually it's just like, hey, I'm on steroids, join my bandwagon. So that's cool. But what we see him taking was recorded as a I guess reportedly, who actually knows what was going on inside of his closet at home, but 18 to 20 units a day of growth hormone, which is, again, even higher than what I typically see bodybuilders take when people come to me and ask questions and stuff like this. So we're talking about really high doses in somebody who is already gargantuan, Rich Piana, and then maximizing that to another level with these 100 IU plus doses. Now, first of all, you might be thinking, how the hell are they able to afford this? Because, quite frankly, a 4 IU dose a day in, let's say, an HIV/AIDS patient is expensive. If insurance isn't covering it, you're talking about thousands of dollars a month. Thousands, like literally thousands of dollars a month. But there is this little thing called China.
China, China, China. You can't trust anyone, but you can trust China.
And China likes to produce things at a much cheaper cost than America and sell them to Americans. And they do the same thing with various different peptides. We've talked about how the United States is really starting to crack down on this before in other videos. But one of their main compounds that they sell is growth hormone. And that growth hormone can be purchased for very cheap, somewhere around.
They pumping themselves full of motherfucking forever plastics. Holy fuck going on, boy? I feel like damn, would China do that? Yeah, China probably do that to a name. That's like that Shein shit. They say don't be wearing those Shein clothes too much. You feel me? Shit.
Around the ballpark of 50 cents per unit is the average going Chinese growth hormone price. Look, this is all insider information, completely educational in nature. We'll just say this is theory, right?
So they doing illegal shit. So all these bodybuilders, they doing illegal shit, and they could get roped up. If the cops decided, you know what, this nigga don't look like he make enough in order to be this fucking big, let's go to his crib, knock on his door, and find out where he getting this fucking these growth hormones from. You know what I'm saying? I always hear crazy shit. I ain't never hear nothing about no drug bust coming from China stopping some growth hormones. Like, it must not be illegal or something, huh?
So if he, had a normal source, it would basically be $50 a day for him to take this dose of growth hormone, Andre, that is. And I think that's pretty feasible, but my assumption is that he also maybe has a bit of a sponsor. Look, sometimes how these things work is like, because somebody looks so gargantuan and insane, one of these drug companies might actually reach out to them and be like, hey bro, I'll give you a discount, or better yet, I'll give you product for free if when anybody comes to ask you where you're getting your stuff from, you tell them it's me. And so the said bodybuilder or powerlifter or whatever goes on about his.
That's fucked up. That's like a nigga saying, yo, I'm gonna give you this Fent for free, but whenever you hear about the Fent, like whenever somebody talk about the Fent, just point them my way, cause I got the best Fent in town. That's crazy as shit. But you get free Fent, like whenever you want Fent, you get a free Fent all the time, free hella all the Fent, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's messed up.
Way, getting the free compounds, not having to spend the astronomical amounts of money, and take a shit ton of drugs, plus then get more rewards from doing so because people come up, ask, hey, where are you getting your drugs from? Oh, I'm getting it from this guy. It's usually how the inside.
The range of motion on his workouts don't seem right. They really don't. Maybe when you get that big, you don't even got that much range of motion left. You can't even really move all that much. You know what I'm saying? You got to work with what you got. That's why you got to do 15 of them hoes, nigga. That's how that nigga working out, bruh. Nigga hit the 1500 in a row.
The ring of bodybuilding works. Again, educational purposes only. I have no idea. All this to be said, why is it likely that he is honestly, I've watched a lot of his videos now, just kind of looking through to see if there's any talking points for this specific video. And I think he's a very genuine guy. The guy is the definition of stoic in my personal opinion, but I don't think that he's just taking casual doses here. For one, just looking at his physical appearance, not necessarily his muscle mass or development of, hands. I really can't get over how massive this guy's hand. Editor, can we get like several clips of him holding things? Like it just doesn't even make sense anatomically. It must be uncomfortable, and man, when you go pee, must that be degrading. But you would imagine that somebody looking like this at this young, 20, younger than me, okay, is taking a lot of stuff, okay? Just call it like it is, taking a lot of stuff. So that increases oxidative stress, and that ages somebody quite rapidly. It changes, we've talked about this many times before, collagen synthesis and the types of collagen fibers that you're biased to. It changes fat patterning. It changes a lot of things. Increases, androgenic alopecia. It causes hair follicle miniaturization. Causes a lot of things that basically accelerate the aging process in males and females. But uniquely, what we're talking about here too, that's different from our normal subjects, is very large hands, very large forearms, very large feet.
Huh? Big ass plate of cheesecake. Shit, boy, the fuck going on? And it's crazy, he's not even really like a bodybuilder. I ain't never seen him in no competitions. When I first heard about him, he was just big as shit. Like, he wasn't even trying to do anything. When I first heard about him, I don't even think like he was really posting on Instagram. I think other people were just posting about him. And then he just said, fuck it. And I think started doing his own shit. But This nigga was doing this shit for the love of the game. For the love of the game.
It's a really dead giveaway that he's basically using an exorbitant amount of growth hormone because of a few things. We're going to get into mechanism here, so stick with me. It's well worth your time. I think it is a good educational moment for you guys, of course. That's what I'm looking out for. And while you're sticking with me, feel free to like, comment, and maybe even subscribe. It does help the channel in ways that you have no idea how profoundly, I mean, genuinely it helps out so much. So generally, most people kind of consider growth hormone to be something that helps build muscle and burns fat. I mean, you hear about Joe Rogan taking growth hormone, you hear about a lot of athletes taking growth hormone. It's something that actually can help. It's a real good, tangible option for people who are looking to improve performance, and especially if they go to...
I wanted that shit when I was younger. When I was like in high school, I wanted to get some damn growth hormone. There's two kids that went to my school. They played basketball and they were the same like height as me. And like 1 year they came back to school, them niggas was big as shit. And I think their parents put them on growth hormone. Both of them niggas. They ended up at, I think they peaked out at like 6 foot, maybe 6'1". But yeah, I'm pretty sure their parents put them on some growth hormone to make them taller, bro. I wanted that shit. I don't know the side effects, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if you're gonna have brittle bones, all type of bullshit. But I might have did that shit.
Clinic and have it managed via clinical oversight, like, yeah, it's useful for sure. Like, there's no doubting that. But when you blast massive amounts of growth hormone, thinking again on that spectrum of like 50 to 100 units a day, you massively crank up IGF-1 production, mainly from the liver, but also in local tissues. GH binds to the receptor and activates a pathway called JAK-STAT. That signaling tells a cell to make more IGF-1, and then IGF-1 hits bone, connective tissues, and basically says, hey, proliferate, lay down matrix, grow, get obnoxiously big, like exotically large. In a kid with open growth plates, that signal lengthens the long bones so they get taller. This is why kids with short stature end up getting prescribed growth hormone. But in an adult, those growth plates are closed, so you no longer have longitude.
But I'm also not that short. I'm average height. Yes, sir. 5'9", 5'9". You feel me? If I would have ended up under 5'9", I'd have been mad as fuck. I'd have been like, yo, why the fuck y'all ain't give me these growth hormones, my nigga? You know what I'm saying? But I could live being 5'9". Fuck it, man. Fuck it, we ball. You know what I'm saying?
Longitudinal growth. Instead, those bones grow apositionally, meaning they get thicker and broader, and it's not necessarily a systemic effect. It's oftentimes localized to certain areas of the body. You see this in people with acromegaly as a really good example. That's kind of where osteoblasts and osteoclasts come in, something we've talked about before, especially when it relates to female facial architecture changing. So osteoblasts are the bone building cell. Under chronic IGF-1 stimulation, osteoblasts ramp up. They proliferate more and synthesize more collagen type 1 and deposit more mineralized matrices along the outer surface of bones. Over time, as you could imagine, this thickens bones. It makes them more, it's like literally take a street and it has asphalt on it. You pour another layer of asphalt on it. That road gets slightly thicker. And this is really roughly kind of what's happening here. It's essentially how he has the meat cleavers that he has, the widening of the fingers, the increased shoe size, the massive jaw, the brow ridge, all of it. And then osteoclasts, these are the bone reabsorbing cells. They don't shut off. Bone is always basically in a remodeling state. Osteoclasts reabsorb old bone and osteoblasts lay down new bone. But in a high GH/IGF-1 environment, the balance is biased towards formation and expansion of certain skeletal regions. The turnover rate increases disproportionately, and so you end up with those acromegaly-like conditions. If you think about really any, there's, who's that famous wrestler? Editor, could you throw him in here? He has acromegaly. He passed away, unfortunately, but it's a really good example of this. Andre the Giant. How could I have ever forgotten Andre the Giant? Did you guys ever watch The Princess Bride back in the day? If you have it, it's a really great movie. I might be dating myself. It predates me even, but it's still a great movie. He starred in that movie, and that's where I figured him out as a person, as a child. But basically what you need to understand is this is putting things into a unnatural zone. And in a natural state, IGF-1 is very tightly regulated, and your body has negative feedback loops that keep it within a decent range and doesn't cause you to develop uncontrollably, unlike somebody with acromegaly. In Andre's case, you know, Smayev is taking likely way more than just a casual 5 IUs of growth hormone, just a casual 10 IUs of growth hormone, because of this very, very specific growth pattern that we're seeing. And these are permanent architectural changes too. Let me tell you, like, it might look good now when he's heavily muscled and working out regularly and eating a ton of food, which he eats massive amounts of food, by the way, really insane. But it's not going to look good when you're 60 years old, you've lost a bit of muscle, you're more of a normal sized human being, and suddenly your hands are way disproportionately bigger than the rest of your body. Like, it looks actually insane. The other thing here is he's definitely not playing his cards smart, because this isn't just exclusive to bone, okay? This is lots of different connective tissues, lots of different organ tissues, right? We're talking about ventricular hypertrophy, like his heart enlarging massively, his hepatic function completely being skewed because of this, and definitely having like a very enlarged liver, an enlarged pancreas from constant insulin output. It's not a really good way to live life, and it's, like I said, he's here for a good time, probably not a long time. All right, that's the reality of the shit like this. Great guy, like, nothing against him, but it's not a healthy lifestyle to, I guess, do things to this extreme. He could say that he's normal all he wants, but the likelihood that that's the case, just visually looking at him, it's just not gonna happen, man. You don't look like that at 27 from just, you know, TRT dose of testosterone and a bit of growth hormone. You look like that because you are very intentionally trying to look like that and blasting things as high as you can possibly get them or afford to get them. I don't know what the background setup is, but holy shit, man. This is one hell of a character. If you enjoyed today's video, consider liking, commenting, and subscribing.
It's crazy because, like, you get that big, but what's, like, the purpose of getting this big? You know what I'm saying? Like, you get this big... Yeah, like, getting this big don't get you no bitches. You know what I'm saying? Like, does it get you money? Still debatable, honestly. Still debatable. Even, oh boy. Damn, what the fuck? I forgot his name. This is diabolical. Damn. Wait, lightweight? Damn. I can't even remember his name. I'm having a brain fart. But regardless, he can't even walk right here. He could barely walk right now. And he was working as a police officer while still being a bodybuilder and going into competitions and doing all shit like that. So it's like, there isn't as much money in bodybuilding as people think. I mean, this is a different time now. You know what I'm saying? That was a little before. So maybe there is more in bodybuilding. But by the look at his crib, you know what I'm saying? Like, if he was making YouTube videos and doing that shit that Larry Wheels be doing, then cool. You know, you probably make some good money. But if you're not doing that, you're kind of just getting big for the purpose of getting big, which is crazy. Because I ain't see this nigga not with one bitch. No bitches. Big ass muscles, no bitches. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, you guys let me know what you guys think. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell. And if nobody told you today, I love you.